So the story I'd like to share is a very personal one. I've been around the block for a little bit now. I'm 58 years old, and as you can see, I'm a man in a shed. I think that I come from a fairly working class background, but I have a degree, so I'm not sure about that anymore. I'm not sure it would fit into your demographic because I know that you want to have a diverse group of people who are writing, and quite rightly so. But recently, I've been diagnosed with ADHD, which has made a great difference, probably to the way I view the world, and probably as well to past events. And a lot of the stuff that I am looking at writing about in this piece is relationship kind of stuff. So a lot of it goes back to my mum. So I have mother issues. My dad left when I was 8, and so I was brought up by somebody who some might say was a bit of a narcissist, but she did a good job in terms of feeding me and making sure that I was safe. One of the things she said to me was, act normal, as if I didn't act normal. So this gave me two things. One was that I wasn't normal, and two, that other people weren't normal either because they had to act normal. So I went around, wandering around, looking at other people and trying to work out what was what. Didn't work very well. Screwed me up quite a bit. But she also was the kind of person who told me not to lie. Don't tell a lie. Now, I'm going to skip forward a bit because there are other bits in between in the story that are quite interesting, but that I'm not going to tell you now on this 5 minute video. And it is going to take a bit of me doing timey-wimey contracting when I write the piece. When my mum died in 2021, I found out that for 30 years she'd been lying about me. She told people that I was a barrister, right? I'd worked in a solicitor's office from the age of, sorry, excuse the cold, from the age of 16 to 21. And I was just a kind of like a office clerk, did a bit of accounting, that kind of thing. I wasn't very good at it. And now with the ADHD diagnosis, I kind of realised why I wasn't very good at it. In fact, they had to bring back the woman that trained me to actually unfold my mess. Anyway, so now I'm there, and I'm being approached by people who say, "So, you a lawyer? You're a solicitor or a barrister?" And I'd say, "Barrister? I'm not even a barista. I haven't worked in a coffee bar, let alone the legal bar." And then it kind of got even stranger because my mum, when she didn't want to go somewhere, she would say she was visiting this friend. Can't remember the name of the friend now. But when she died, my auntie tried to find this friend. There was no phone number. There was no address. Uh, um, and so, she'd say to my auntie, I'm not coming for Christmas. I'm going to go and see, I'm going to say Valerie, right? I'm going to go and see Valerie. As far as we could work out, there was no Valerie. And she'd made up an entire family history for Valerie, her daughter, her husband, what they were doing career-wise, right? And it's at that moment when you kind of recognize she was an incredibly creative person because she had all of this in her head. And to be able to do that, I couldn't do that. I mean, I try my best to write stuff, but this in her head was lived. This is the woman who told me not to lie. She did it over and over again. And that is just kind of the tip of the iceberg there. But there will be other bits and pieces as well that come into it because he was a product of a system that made her the kind of person she was. So I don't blame her at all. In fact, I think she had a lot of courage. And I would like that also to come across in any of the writing that I do so that she isn't a villain. No, no, no. and I appreciate her more now than I ever did before.